All good? Right.
Good.
Welcome to the first of what we hope will be a regular podcast type thing. Just to stay in touch with the members of the RAFFA Vets family and kind of just trying to engage with a wider group as well. We started this channel a little bit out of boredom, obviously with the lockdown with COVID-19, but a little bit also as a different way to try and communicate with people, to engage with the group. So the videos are just trying to involve various guests each time through the family group, just trying to find out a little bit more about them, share a few ideas, get a few messages across and things like that. So first one, let me introduce people. So hopefully you'll know the man at the bottom of the screen, I think. Matt Beattie, RTM. Representative team manager, gaffer, any other names? Matt, how are you? Those dogs been walked today?
Yeah, no way. Thanks, Daz. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, there's plenty of names out there, that's for sure. But no, pleasure to be here, and great idea. We've done 3 lots of dog walks today, and we do possess the fittest 2 dogs in Belgium currently, with dog leash and jar. So yeah, all relatively good under the circumstances, but yeah, we're keeping active, keeping sharp, and trying to remain positive.
So how's things? How are you coping out there in Brussels?
So yeah, it's kind of a Big Brother Groundhog Day type sketch, which I guess everyone's kind of getting used to. We probably reckon we're 7 to 10 days ahead of how UK work in their restrictions. On a personal note, as a family, we're trying to keep upbeat, keep active. Work-wise, for myself, it's probably as busy as I've ever been, which is good, obviously. It's just trying to make sure that whilst you have a routine, you're able to potentially break that routine to relieve the boredom as well. So it takes a little bit of thinking when you're not just going out to the local gym, or if you're not just going out to the local hotel or restaurant or wherever you used to go into. So we're safe and sound, and we really appreciate the fact that we are safe and sound, and we actually got employment to go to. And yeah, life's relatively good under the circumstances, and we're hoping that everybody that we know stays healthy and stays safe in these times.
Brilliant. And also on the call with us today, Scotty, Skipper. Scotty, that conservatory looks lovely and clean. Are you responsible for that?
Oh, it's gleaming. It's gleaming. I was out there yesterday doing the windows.
Again.
Out today doing lots of jobs. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a thing with the lockdown or if it's just a thing with women. They've just got one job after another. I can't begin to fathom what's on the next jobs to-do lists, but we've got a pause on for this one anyway, so I'm looking forward to it.
Lovely.
Cheers.
I mean, we're going to talk about football. We're going to talk about Vets football in particular. I just want to kind of make a point, I'm sure you two agree with me, in the grand scheme of things at the moment, it's pretty insignificant. We're just kind of really hopeful that everybody's staying safe, their families and loved ones are staying safe. We've, within our family group, I know we've been affected by it. We've had somebody directly affected by it, Leighton. It's good news that he kind of seems to have come through it and he's back home now. So that's really good news. I'm sure you're, same boat as me there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's extremely positive with Leighton. It's kind of bizarre how the roller coaster's gone, really, from the back end of the army game to often went to Cheltenham races, and then all of a sudden that following week it kind of hit us like a bus, really, that restrictions are on you, and it's been a roller coaster up and down. But I think ultimately we knew someone would be affected directly, not necessarily with positive outcomes as well, and it's just that journey that we're all on. So it's trying to help each other through it, and it's one of the things I deal with in my line of work is human resources, and the fact that human resources is your prize asset is one of the messages that's come through from my work area. But it's just the fact you've just got to look after each other. And I think, certainly from a UK point of view, you can see that the way the majority are behaving. And a good example with our family was the messages Leighton got, and the fact that he got to come back home and then return on the messages was brilliant to see. So really positive news that.
Do you feel a bit personally responsible by going to Cheltenham, Matty? It's not been.
Yeah, it's a good point. Well presented, and I'd agree with that until the last race, until that 33-1 came in.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. Let's jump in. Start a discussion then. So it's been a pretty abrupt kind of end to the vet season. Strange conclusion. Last game we played was the opening game in what's kind of our showpiece of the season against the Army. Superbly hosted by TNS again. So obviously we come out with a brilliant result. Matty, what were your views on the game?
The Army game, I really enjoyed the game actually. I probably didn't enjoy it as much at the time, but with what we had a strong set of lads out on the day. So 1 to I think 32, which is what again an example of how strong we are in numbers. We had out supporting us, and obviously there's only 11 allowed on the pitch at any one time. But first of all, I think it would be really important just to mention the Army, because before the game, I'm not a big one to pay my respects to the opposition, as you'll have noticed, changing room. But I think it's always worth reflecting post-match that Dinger and Matty Spruce and Joey Collins, they put together, for me, a really good vet side, a much improved vet side from last year. And individually, I thought they were technically gifted. The players they had were pretty decent, and I think that was shown in abundance in the game. Again, it wasn't anything that we didn't think we were going to see. And we put a team out to combat that, to absorb some of the pressure we knew we'd get. And then I guess we just thought with our attacking force, law of averages is we'd get more than they would. And I probably predicted a 5-4 type result, and we ended up with a 1-0. As you know, in inter-services, you take a 1-0 over a 5 as well as a 5-4 because it's a win's a win. So whilst it wasn't a classic game of football, and it's not something I get too held up about for the inter-services, you just want to beat the Army. You just want to beat the Navy. And I'm sure from their lens, they're exactly the same. So for me, it was an extremely pleasing result. How we endeavoured and went about it and sort of executed it man to man for the players that did play, the 11, and then the lads that came on, I thought it was exceptional, even though it wasn't pleasant to watch. But again, it's because, I don't want to take that respect away from Dinger and Matty because they did a great job, but I think the boys that did get on the pitch absolutely exemplified what we're about, and they executed the game tremendously for us. And potentially over the piece, it probably could have been 2 or 3. So we'll take the 1. Could have been 2 or 3, but yeah, typical inter-service, not a great spectacle type game.
I think it told a big story before the game. When you saw the Army come out, there was, there were. We always go with a lot of people. We've always got a big squad, but the Army kind of had 20, 22, 23 out there warming up. It was a massive, great shift from what they had last year, I thought.
Yeah, and it was no secret they were wounded from last year. The Aldershot game where we beat them up 4-0, and those are words from Matty Spruce himself. The 10, he played 10 for me. He's a good boy, and he's helped Dinger move the Army Masters or Vets along this year. But he said himself they were licking wounds after last year, and they were massively up for it. So yeah, they definitely upped the game. They got the serving vets that participated in the main event of the SRT level, and they've moved them up to the Masters. So they've definitely upped their stakes, and they've definitely upped their opposition throughout the season, ready to play the services. So at the end of the day, it's all great stuff that it ups the benchmark for vets football in the service. And I think that's only a massive plus for everybody.
What was it like in the thick of the action, Scotty?
I think going into the game, we were pretty confident, I thought. We've got a lot of confidence in the changing room and our own ability and in the team ability. So I think the preparation going into the game was good. Confidence was pretty high, especially after the back of turning them over at their place last year, which was a tremendous result. Personally, I thought they were pretty strong last year, and knowing what the gaffer was saying about them during the season, with them keeping his beady eye on them, that they were going to be a lot stronger this year, and potentially a younger side as well, fitter and quicker because they've been working that hard. Actually, during the game, I thought from back to front we were solid, we were strong. Stu comfortable in nets. I thought we were relatively comfortable and organised at the back. Same with the midfield. And when you've got the lads that we have got playing up front, it's just a dream to play. Scott Lowry, great goal. Settled us down a little bit, I thought. Settled us into the game. And going into the second half, we kind of thought that they might have come out a little bit more attack-minded, which they did up against the Kosh for a few minutes. But I certainly thought, personally, during the game, I didn't think we were going to concede. I really didn't. And I was confident in Stu at the back. He had a couple of good saves. But even when we've got the lads going forward, the lads that we've got and the lads that came on the bench, same as Matty said, I think we were unlucky not to nick another one, apart from, the width of the post a couple of occasions. It could have been 2 or 3. But you'll take a 1-0 win against the Army any day of the week and twice on Sunday. So more than happy to come away with that result.
I think that's the main thing, isn't it? It's not to cliche too much, but it's kind of is results driven. It's the first one I've watched, really. I'm not a good football watcher, which obviously needs to change, seeing I'm kind of going to be doing a lot of I thought, I didn't think we played, I'll probably disagree a little bit. I don't think we played particularly well. We certainly didn't retain the ball very well.
Mm.
And second, that probably made our own problems to put us under the cosh a little bit more. But, what it probably did, drawing them on, because they had that bit of pressure, we still looked really comfortable. I didn't see them scoring, really. But, enabled us to have those breakaways. And as you say, Scotty, the 2 times that we've hit the post, and then it would have been a totally different story, kind of, an easy win. But, I think we're all on the same page with it being a result, 1-0. Thank you very much. It's one of the ones that you get on the bus and you're kind of singing on the bus on the way home, isn't it? It's kind of thank you very much, easy.
That's very good. No, definitely. And I don't disagree with any of that. I think we're all on the same page with it. The 2 areas we can improve to how we try and play in other games. So there's a marked difference between the Army and Navy game and then the rest of the season for Vets football. And that's one of the things that we still need to pass that message on to a lot of our guys. A lot of the family is we play for enjoyment. We play for lots of reasons, lots of objectives we set up for the season. But when it comes to the Army Navy, that's we play to win. 100%. That's you want to win that game, and however you do that is up to you on the day. With given resources and given ways. But the 2 areas I thought we could improve on in the Army game is I thought we could have played higher up the pitch and the ball retention. That's generally 2 key areas we're really good at in the season. It's a little bit bizarre when it came to it. Those 2 areas we were poor on. But because I believe they didn't have a plan to change it when they came forward, we absorbed them. And, I've got to give credit to Rufus and the back 4, Macca, solid with Danny Dixon. I thought they were, and like with Scotty right back, you didn't see us conceding unless it's going to be a worldie. And then if it's a worldie, sometimes you have to go, okay. And then it's over to Scott and Seds then to sort it out up front. If they get a 1-1, then go on, boys, let's see you step up. And really pleasing because win or lose games.
The two go hand in hand, really, don't they? Retaining possession enables Scotty and the boys to then move further up the pitch. If you're not retaining possession, what's the point of moving like 10 yards up the pitch? So, they do go hand in hand. I think there was a lot of nervous energy, wasn't there? Which, probably, the fact is that the 1-2 games that you look in, where there's some goal, it expends a lot of nervous energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's. I don't know if you're touching on the rest of the season at all, but it's different to what it was last year. Last year I'd say as a season we progressed, we snowballed, we went from one better to another better result to another better performance, and performances were relating to the results last year. And then we crescendoed at Aldershot and we beat them up 4-0. But arguably could have been 6 or 7, on a different day. But this year, it's been ups and downs, and then we had this cup final that we had to compete against. We knew was Dinger's special side. Like I say, they were a good team, technically, individually, but it was a cup final one-off where we didn't really have any form. We were bouncing into the game with, particularly, really. So, very pleasing, very pleasing.
Sure.
And a good night afterwards as well.
Well,
apparently.
Always. That brings me on to my next point, really, because we tend to celebrate the opening of the fridge, don't we? We will anybody. So kind of with the abrupt end to the season, we haven't had a chance to kind of have a stop and think about anything. So, are we going to see an end of season, Matty? What's the chances of playing against the Navy? Is that, obviously it's a low priority, but is there any chances, you think?
Yeah, it's a good question for most at the moment, but there is no suggestion whatsoever for it not to happen. And myself and Steve Johnson's last discussion was it will happen. It's just when. So, like you've signposted earlier, there's a lot more important to us in the world at the moment, but we will most definitely play that game. And it'll be in our interest to play that game, but it's in the spirit of the competition, it's in the spirit of the service football. So we will play that Navy game at some point. It's just the $1 million question is when. So yeah, the answer to your question is more time around, we'll definitely play that Navy game. Even if it's October, November, we'll play one for 2020, and we'll get to a final result for this inter-service for this year.
There'll be that celebration again then, Scott.
Oh yeah, celebrate again. But what I'd probably advise the gaffer to do is when we do play the Navy is maybe see if we can get a hotel book for Tony Reeves. See if he's going to book 4 or 5 hotel rooms again.
Is that first world problem again?
Yeah. No, but I think from a player's perspective, we've got the first game out the way with a victory. You want to play the second game, but who knows what's going to happen with the COVID-19 situation. In an ideal world, we get down to play it wherever it is, whether it's at Portsmouth or whether it's at Yeovil. Let's just get the game on, and if it is October, so be it. Who knows what's going to happen as well with the opposite fixture, with the Army playing at home to the Navy. Is that going to go ahead? Are the Army going to want to play it, or are they just going to want to sort of kibosh it, seeing as they've lost the first one? Who knows? But we want to play. Players want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Okay. So obviously that's the culmination of the season, but we've had some really good games during the year. What's kind of been your kind of thoughts on the season in general, Scotty?
Again, good fixture list this year. Some tough fixtures. Royal Wootton Bassett. Wales is always a good side.
Yeah.
And Manor Athletic, again, always give us a good game. And as well, we've got the hairier sort of games against teams like Liverpool, who always put in a bit of a show for us. So those competitive edge games are absolutely fantastic, and we need those. And similarly, with a couple of the easier games that we've perhaps had in terms of the goals that we've managed to get against Will and Manchester City Vets, I think we've benefited from the quality of fixtures that we've had. And not to forget as well the over 55s tournament that took off in Cardiff earlier on in the year. So a fantastic array of fixtures. It's great for the lads, and with the size of the squad that we have, I think the amount of fixtures and the balance that we've had against the amount of players that we have has been pretty good. Sound.
I know me personally, I kind of probably my favourite game of the year was the Manor Vets game. I think I think if you had that standard of game, kind of, at a half decent semi-pro level, you'd kind of be happy to watch it. Never mind at a vets level, and for us to still be still playing those games, at St George's Park as well. It's kind of like, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's another thing. The facilities that we've got. Matty mentioned earlier on about TNS. The facilities that they've got are fantastic. They look after as well, and it's exactly the same at St George's Park. Even from a Scotsman speaking, what better sort of place would you want to play your games at with the facilities that's on offer there?
I'm just going to make sure we're recording, Scotty. Hang on a
minute. Can you edit that bit out, please? Yeah. But yeah, it's a great setup to be involved in the RAFFA Vets, and to play those fixtures. Robo, me and you are at our sort of tail end of our 40s. Going the wrong way from that. But those are the sort of facilities that you would have absolutely dreamed to play in your sort of your 20s and your 30s. Never mind sort of with us in your 40s. And it's a dream. It is absolutely fantastic to play there.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's good. I think we've had a different season to last year. I do think at the start of each year when we set our objectives up, I think from the outset, maybe was it about 6+ years ago, we probably said between us when we were doing a fag packet, 3 main objectives. One was to be inclusive, to bring as many people on board as we can who deserve to, not necessarily deserve, who want to be involved, was to maintain the venue quality. So to make sure that we've got a great venue to go to, so we chose St George's Park, and now we're bringing on TNS for the inter-services, and also alongside the venue we had opposition. And then the third point that I know we said was to bring the families involved. So instead of just going alone where Scotty goes down for the weekend and we don't see him again until the Monday at home, from a homeward side of it, the fact you can bring your families along. So I think these venues opposition, with being inclusive, massively helps towards the season. And I think the first game we played this year, we're just adding things to our bow all the time, like remembering people that were part of us. So obviously remember Charlie Booker as now our Player of the Year award. We're remembering Kev Walton, and probably remember him many times throughout the year, but we're actually playing a game for him against Real, which, alternates whether it's home and away each year. We've done the same with Sutton Coldfield, who were the over 35 national champions 2 seasons ago, with their Andy Biddle, who himself and Stu Holt played with at Sutton Coldfield. So we're doing lots of good things as a group that we rightly should be proud of ourselves, but it also adds to the great season. And to pick highlights is a fact. It's like putting a cherry on your cake. And for me, the 2 games that stand out for this season specifically are certainly the Manor Park with Sean Davis, Barry Hales, these top players in the day, and they've only just stopped playing literally 4, 5, 6 years ago. So they still play regularly. They go off and do the international tournaments, the England FA. So to be able to get them to George's Park to play us and actually match them, and potentially we probably should have won that game and nicked it 3-2 because it was a 2-2. We were 2-0 down. We turned it around. We brought it back to 2-2. It probably should have been 3-2 to us, but we finished with a 2 each. And everyone's happy, especially Sean Davis because he won a 3-litre vodka. But I mean, those are highlights of the season. The other one that stands out for me was the England FA one, where we got beat 6-4, and their side was quality for Vets football. But it's a cliche, but you do learn an awful lot about your players generally when you get beaten. And I think I learned a lot about our players, and that we got beat 6-4. But it was, again, such a competitive game. We had a visitor who was the father of Stevie Pugh, and he goes to watch football regularly, and he says it's one of the best games he's ever seen. And I think that's testament to the guys that actually played on the pitch.
Yeah.
Because that's the type of quality that's getting delivered. So that's a really good example of what we're putting ourselves up against, and also the level that our vets are playing to themselves. So it's all good, mate, and really enjoyed the season. Slightly up, like I said earlier, up and down, roller coaster-ish, but try and maintain these type of fixtures. We're bringing Wrexham legends, 66 and his guys, Carl Kelly and Nigel Beaumont and some ex-players from Wrexham. So we'll be trying to encourage ex-pros that have got the legends type teams to come and either host us, or we can host them at St George's or TNS. So lots to look forward to.
I think you know, for the lads, especially the lads that are still serving, and you know, perhaps those that haven't had the opportunity to play like civvy football, or you know, kind of still being able to play that standard of football at our age, it's just fantastic. You know, kind of who wants to go, who wants to go and kick the ball around, you know, in a muddy field and have to take the nets down afterwards. You know, kind of, you know, we are spoiled. We're definitely spoiled, aren't
Yeah, it's come on great this year with the additions, but it doesn't happen without, you know, you look at what we get when we turn up, and we get good supportive staff for the back staff, you know, from Sarah, who does the match liaison, to Sully, who does, you know, Sully's multi-hatted in the fact that there's finance officer, who does the IF liaison,
Treasurer.
official liaison. You know, with Jimmy, who heads up the comms. Jimmy's got so many different jobs to do prior to the day. And then we've got Gus with Anthony Hill and PD and Jed Robinson, who were there to fix the old gits before the game starts. I think it's better. You know, we have Marco. Marco's worked with Cambridge in Div 2, and he says what the guys have is better than some of the Div 2, Div 1 clubs. And I think he's probably not far off in how what we're trying to emulate to make people want to come, so they can enjoy their life. But like I said, a lot of tests to these people who put the work in prior to the day. When I turn up on the day, I just turn up and, you know, try and look good, and everything's done for you because it's easy, because everyone's done the work before.
good? It's not easy, mate. To be fair, you need to.
Yeah, I mean, from a player's point of view as well, it's simple for us. I mean, you could take ourselves back to the days when we used to put the nets up. You'd probably still in the changing room then, Robo, wouldn't you?
No, I'd have walked off. Yeah. I'd have walked off, Sky. I would have done that.
But yeah, all we've got to do really as a player is remember all your kit, click going on the old Facebook thing, turn up on time, don't get a bollocking from the gaffer, and go out and play football. It's a joy for us. And you know, not just the football, but the social aspect as well, and meeting people's families that do come along and stay over for a tic-tac session in the evening.
That's a good point, though, Scott. The tic-tac session, because you know we've got John Jones and Dave Peel who undoubtedly have supported certainly me throughout my playing career, and they support from a distance when we're not there, and when we do have games, they support by coming to visit, and they are massively part of what we do, because they're like your godfather. It's like, have I done that right? Or your sounding board. You can turn to them and ask them. And as much as John Jones would definitely slate me for my social attributes during my playing days, it's something that is a huge part of what we're about. Because once the nitty gritty is done, which is a vehicle why we turn up to play, then more than likely most people stay and enjoy the social aspect, which I think is key. I think that's massive. And everyone participates. And one thing I was going to say to this chat about the social aspect is we've had guys who've come in who didn't really get where me and you, yourself, Scott, and Robo, sort of our journey through the 80s and 90s, or late 80s and 90s, where we were together and we did our social. But the guys who haven't been part of that have come along and they get it and they join in and they contribute as good as any. And I think that's tremendous. You know, I think that's tremendous, the fact they give as good as they get, they enjoy it, they bring their families, and we can just do stuff together, and I think it's really good.
I agree, mate, absolutely. And I think you know, someone like PD is a great example of, you know, never served, doesn't really kind of have any in as such, but just been welcomed with open arms, kind of, and his son Jack. You know, it's great. It's great to have him along and to see it. You know, that proud to get that cap at the last game. You know, amazing.
Yeah, he's one of the family now, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So, we touched on it a little bit just now, but kind of we are pretty good at celebrating anything. We'll raise a glass with anybody for anything. But the abrupt end to the season's kind of stopped us celebrating as we normally do. So I know Matty took the steps to announce our Player of the Year, which was Dave Wanless. In my opinion, a really deserved winner this year. Always kind of someone that you can rely on. When he gets a little head of speed as well, it's kind of somebody you don't want to get in the way of. What about for you, Skipper? Deserved winner?
I think so, yeah. Deservedly so, as you say. Once he gets his speed up, he's a bit of a steam train going, isn't he? I think he was pushed close with a couple of contenders. Don't really want to name names on here, but I think Dave, throughout the season, from what I've seen of him, he's been strong, he's been consistent, he's come in with the odd goal as well, which has been important. And I think he's had a tremendous season, one that he can be proud of. And I think the previous two winners of the Player of the Year will welcome him with open arms, even though he's not a physical training instructor.
I wondered whether there was a little click going on there. Do you have to have a badge?
Yeah.
No, it's funny to say that about the badge. The badge is always a topic of conversation somewhere in the meet. But every game, each player is scored out of 10. So every game, someone's put a kit on, and if they've performed on the pitch, they'll get a score out of 10.
Did you score yourself in that over 50s game?
Yeah, I think it was, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was around 11.
What about the two Lionels? They were first class.
And so over a period of 15 games, which is what we've had this year, it tells its own story. So you can always put your hand on your heart and say, and feel as though you've been consistent with how you're looking at this. But it's also a perception exercise, because when you speak to someone and said, "Who's your Player of the Year?" and you have no information, and they just pick a name. It's really interesting to see what the names have got. So I think it's a worthwhile exercise in maintaining this scoring system. Again, it's an opinion, but just so happens to be mine. But we're not usually too far wrong with it when you run it past the management team yourself. And I'd also mention Stu and Danny Bartley this year. They've also run Dave really, really close. So whilst obviously Dave, I would give all the accolades to, and it was probably quite well documented that Dave didn't go off on a great start when he first joined us 3 years ago. And that's probably part of the bit. He didn't really know what the family was all about. But you know what? He kind of just joined in. He got in with it. He just he absorbed the family element. We had a good chats together. We did some one-to-ones. But overall, I thought Dave really deserved looking at it without the scores as across the piece. And it's not just how he plays; it's his attitudes that go into different roles in the team. We've looked at playing him deeply, we've looked at playing him wide, we've looked at playing him up top, and every time he's more than happy. And it's not just more than happy; he's an 8 or plus out of 10 each time he does it. So for me, deserved winner. And I hope we get a chance to deliver the right award to him in time with the chairman.
Yeah, absolutely. The particular game that stands out for me was the game against the Welsh down at University of South Wales. That was kind of they're a very good side. That's probably, I think you'd admit, Matty, that's how we've tried. That's what we've aspired to become. Kind of the way that Wales run their kind of. And Dave Wanless pretty much single-handedly kind of won us that game. Kind of running single, like a lone furrow up front. I thought he was just exceptional that day. Even he calmed down the trampoline first touch.
No, he's been a great find for us, because again, he's not had previous SRT experience, so he's come out of station football. He's proved that you don't have to have played SRT to join us. But if you're still up and running after 35 and you've still got the techers, then we're still interested in having a look. And I think it's a key message to people that him receiving the Player of the Year and playing into services and doing so well shows you don't have to have been ex-SRT. Although we are trying to promote that once you finish the SRT and you're over 35, come and join us. It also shows that other avenue that you can come and join the vets, the family, play, socialise, enjoy different venues, So it's the big picture type element. Really pleased for him, really. And when I spoke to him, he was surprised himself. So humble guy as well.
Oh, brilliant.
One thing just to add to that is, he's still playing station football, and what you mentioned there about the family, Matty, is that Maka and Munoz, they also didn't play, senior representative team football. They've been winners of the trophy, and it's a great advert. They want us still playing a good level at station football, and the other two guys have still been playing station football as well. That's won it. So it does show if you're still playing a good level of football on a regular basis, you've got every chance.
Yeah, for sure.
That rule us out then, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
There's always time, Robo. There's always time.
There's always over 50s.
Yay. Right. Okay. So let's kind of try and assume that we're going to get back to some sort of normality whenever that happens. Obviously, we've got some plans for next year. We haven't actually discussed them yet. We haven't got to the fixtures meeting and things like that, I don't think. So what's kind of the plans for next year, Matty?
Yeah, so we've got a plan. We just need to ratify it with the working group. So there's about 4 or 5 of us, myself, Sarah, Sully, Wilkie. We're going to ratify some of the proposals I put together. So for five heads is better than one, and all that type of stuff. We've done a lot this year. We've done a lot with tracksuits, kit, polo shirts, warm-up tops, and we're going to try and, I believe, my proposal is going to be, we're going to try and consolidate. We're going to look at playing fixtures maybe into the home and away, just home or away. Like we mentioned earlier, try and pick up legends or ex-pros that want to come to us at St George's or TNS. If not, can we go to a really good outfit that they might have at perhaps a League of Wales club, or perhaps a semi-pro outfit? We've got some offers at Coventry at the moment, got some offers at Wolves, perhaps Air Academy. So we've got lots of people banging on our door, basically, but we have to make sure that we maintain our quality. We have standards, which I'm often reminded of from Sully, who keeps me on the straight and narrow, which is brilliant. And we just need to maintain and consolidate what we've done, because I believe we've come really far in a short space of time as far as kit and having the stuff that we've currently got. And whilst that's always evolving, we need to just make sure we don't do too much too soon. Because this year, there's a couple of times we were potentially stretched at double headers. So myself and Wilkie have discussed that, and obviously we'll encompass yourself in that discussion. But we're going on a recruitment drive from guys who've played SRT that are no longer playing SRT, that are over 35. So we've already spoken to 4 or 5 chaps who we hope to bring on board on the playing front. So we'll do a playing recruitment drive. We'll consolidate where we are on the off-field activities, and just hope to drive forward really with enjoying what we do, with the cherry on the cake for the inter-services, which is your 2 games you really want to win, and just try and evolve and get things better than what we've currently got, which is great at the moment. And then the additional angle that we're going down is an over-50s team that's headed up by Craig Gill and his team with John McGlasson, Geordie Selkeld, Andy McCullough and Stevie Finlay. So they're going to be evolving this over-50s element, which would be great. We had a really good chat with Craig yesterday about moving that forward. He's all over that. So that's something to look forward to, where they'll play 3 games a year, over 50s, and we'll probably have around 15, 16 games with the over 35s. So pretty exciting stuff when we do get back to normal. We're travelling different areas of perhaps Europe, including Cyprus. Yeah, we're always open to ideas. So we're not a closed shop, as you know. And if anyone does have ideas, we're more than we welcome with open arms.
I think as we keep on, moving and engaging with other people, that opens up people that they engage with. So we just get wider and wider who we're looking at, and it's a bit like any group that you're in. Kind of when you're outside, you tend to be a bit wary of it, but as soon as you kind of take the step and break that barrier, you just find out there's so many good people, that you can attach yourself to, have things in common with. It's just like any society, isn't it? So
we get good feedback. Actually, Scott's very proactive in speaking to he gets feedback from players and he feeds that into the committee. So the committee that meet once a month, they all have a chin wag, and like I say, it's quite an organised bicycle that runs here, and there's always this kind of overlap and continuity, and Scott gives us some valuable feedback from players, because players' opinion is vital as well. So whilst just everything's there for them, so we're always open to what they might have to say, whether it's via Scotty or whether it's direct to the committee members or myself or whatever, but we're always looking to strive to be better than what we've got. What we have to be careful of is just keeping the wheels on the bus that's going so well, whilst not changing it too much. And it's great. It's great what we've got at the moment, and we just need to, I say, consolidate is key for me, and I think the team going forward.
What about you, Scotty? Boots on again next year, kid?
Yeah, I think I'm probably down to single fingers and the amount of services that I've got left in me. Finish this one off.
What number's that? How many?
Oh, I don't know.
Come on, give me that. You're a striker. You'd know exactly how many goals.
I don't know how many inter-services. I really don't. You need to ask Jimmy Sheehan. You probably know. Moving on next year, I think, with the amount of players that Matty's mentioned that's coming through or potentially coming through, as well as the additions that we had from last year, all that I can, do is take one season at a time. Like I say, I've not got many left in us. Certainly not at this level. My objectives, I think, next year or next season is to get fit after this COVID situation improves, stay fit, and win inter-services. That's pretty much the goal, because the team is getting stronger. You look at the players that weren't there for the inter-services. You've got youngie Stevie Norton, and there's a lad supposed to be coming through, a Welsh lad, Tomo or something. He's supposed to be a bit of a player. Anybody know him?
Never
heard of him. So, with the additions that Matty's got coming next year, I think we're in a good position, a great squad, great set of lads, both players and the backroom staff. They do a tremendous job for us and make it easy, as I said.
What are you saying? Jump before you push?
Maybe.
Yeah, there's definitely players that would have been involved this year that, we've also got Gary Tweed, really. Gary's gone under the radar a little bit, but he's, a renowned striker in his day who's now settled for a centre midfield slot that actually reads the game really well. We've kind of missed Gary throughout the season, and he's been down in NPA because he got off to a great start in the season before he went to the Falklands. So we've got Gary, Norts, Youngie, Tomo that wasn't around. And those are guys that weren't involved this year, as well as, like Scott said. So the future for the over 35 element is really, really bright.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's kind of, shaping like inter-services football, because the Army have responded to what happened last year as well, isn't it? So, we're all competitive kind of beasts. That's the reason that we play football. We don't play it for purely fun.
Yeah.
We play it to get results, and the buzz that we get out of results, and the Army responded to it, and I'm sure the Navy would have responded to it. So when we move on again, it's kind of right here what we're doing.
Yeah. And the Navy have restructured, to be fair. The Navy have gone through a restructuring. They went off to Australia this year, and they got knocked. So they took the ladies, the seniors of vets off to Australia with Huey Doyle in charge. And since they've come back, we've had a great time out there as a club. So they've gone out as 3 teams as a club, and they've come back and Huey steps to one side, and now Fraser's in charge. But they've actually had trials to pick Fraser's squad for the inter-services. So they had 4 teams compete for playing for the main representative vets team. So that's an interesting take that the Navy have now done, to take serving only from 4 different areas trials to pick a 1 squad for the actual inter-service tournament.
Where did they go?
When?
Where?
They went to Australia in January.
And we went to Rill.
Keeping it positive.
Things aren't so rosy, are they? Anything in particular you want to try and accomplish? I know we said about kind of just consolidating. Is there anything in particular we want to accomplish next year? Obviously, that'd be lovely.
We'll definitely set objectives next year, but always in that objective is you winning services. There's no doubt about that. Number one, yeah, and that's one of the good things that I mentioned about when you brought people in that perhaps we didn't know. And I can point out Paul McCormick here. Paul's a winner through and through, and he gets our breed of we want winners in the change rooms. You know, winners are grinners is a cliche, but it's very, very true. And it's something that we've managed to embrace, all of us, as we've grown up. But it's one big part of our family is on the field of play, we want to win. So it's breeding these type of people. And because we're used to winning for the most, and I think even when we played civvy football as well as representative, we kind of got used to winning, even though you have to earn the right. So we've got this element of breeding this type of player through. And I think that will be another key component that we speak to Wilkie about with yourself, and that's speak about who we bring in, why we bring them in, and for the right reasons. So it's we don't really turn anyone away, because anybody who wants to give their time to us, we want to give our time to them, and that's key also. But we're looking forward to bringing more people in on the playing side, and just moving forward as well as a consolidation piece I mentioned earlier. So not too many objectives, but very similar to what we've done before, but actually keeping them, trimming them and making them better.
I know, yeah, absolutely, mate. So, you know, there's a lot of work that does go on in the background through a whole raft of people, and we are really lucky to have a lot of support, not only kind of physically, but financially. We've got partners that work with us through sponsorship. Kind of those are really important for anybody, you know, particularly a group at our level. Still costs money, you know, so to have financial support from our sponsors is kind of, you know, we're really grateful, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. The sponsorship this year has been massive leg of something we never really challenged before or tried. And Centre Prize International with Jez Nash and Mark Brady, they've been absolutely superb. They've managed to sponsor all brand new staff kit. We had Stewie Holt from Gentleman Block. We all know Stewie, a tremendous bloke, entrepreneur who's massively successful, has really helped us out with money towards his tracksuits of around 3.5K. And then we've had ORS, you know, the hydration boys. They've also backed us up, which few the ORS water bottles.
Beautiful.
When water's not enough.
The lemon, just to, you know, not to decry them, but the lemon tablets do not work in gin and tonic.
No.
But it's really helped. It's really helped this money. And then we had Craig Zenko and Rory O'Hagan that took on the challenge to get individual player sponsorship, something no RAF elements done before. And they, in the space of 4 weeks, managed to get 38 players and staff with individual sponsorships. They managed to coerce, encourage, or just plain get on people's nerves to get 150 quid off them. So the whole purpose was not for them to pay 150 quid, it was for them to go out and get an individual sponsorship for the staff member or their player. And Craig and Rory did a great job in enabling people to go out and do that. And that raised an awful lot of money towards the kit we mentioned earlier, which again has been a huge element of this season. And we need to give credit to these people that are like Craig and Rory that are doing the bits and pieces in the background, because it's superb.
I think the skipper touched on it earlier. You know, kind of the players turn up, everything's there for them, put it on, all the excuses removed, go out and play, and the amount of people that make that in the background are as much a part of it as, you know, Scott Laurie, who scored the winning goal against the Army. You know, it's kind of not about Scotty, it's about getting Scotty on the pitch to in a position to score that goal. You know, Skip's made that point quite clear.
Yeah, very much so. And yeah, and I think that's another massive, you know, we've got Geordie who's you know, we've actually played Geordie this year, age 69. I mean, to get Geordie on the pitch, it's hard to stop him. He wants to play all the time. You know, Geordie's an absolute, he's been an asset to our football for years and years, and to have him on board is brilliant in whatever capacity, but he's always there for you as advice. He's always there, wants to play, but it's just a really good example of a young 35-year-old that comes along, sees this 69-year-old itching to play. No, Geordie's into services for over 35. No, I've got the kit ready, he's ready to play. But it's a real example of what it's all about, the different aspects that people bring. And we've got a really great bunch in that, and we refer to it as a family, but you really have to come and experience it to believe it is a family.
Yeah.
You know, it's a family at 2 o'clock in the morning in a local Premier Inn bar, and it's the same family when you turn up at TNS at 11 o'clock or St George's Park at 2 o'clock on a Sunday. But it's the same people, great group to be around, an absolutely superb experience to be part of it.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. So obviously we're on lockdown. Skips, what are you doing? Keeping yourself fit?
Yeah, I'll keep myself fit. Don't know about that. You not see this double chin.
What about the other four?
Managing to get out a few times a week for a run. If I'm not going out for a run, the missus drags us out in the afternoon for about a 3 or 4 mile walk. You know, just if nothing else, to get out the house. But it comes a little bit of a joy that we had the other day when the highlight of your week is actually going shopping at the supermarket. And the gaffer put on last week that he could have murdered a jammy dodger, so I went out and bought 4 packs of jammy dodgers just so I can show him a photograph of them next week when he's run out.
Knowing damn well you can't get them in Belgium.
Yeah, but I think the most important thing is, you know, we're thankful that we're, you know, relatively fit, we're healthy. The social distancing thing is working around this area. There's people that's been respectful, and all of a sudden the world's got friendlier. You walk past somebody when you're out for your walk or you're out for your run, they're saying hello, and you know, people you've never seen before, and it really is. It's quite surreal. But yeah, as long as we've got our health, as long as we've got our happiness, you know, and our families and everything, what more could you ask for?
How many people you've seen, like when you're walking along, that will climb the hedge on the other side, like, oh my god.
Only you.
Yeah, it's just about me. I'm still working, so you know, recruitment stopped eventually. But
it's kind of paused, but we're still processing. We're still taking applications. We're still, you know, keeping our candidates warm by getting in contact with them. So it's just the face-to-face stuff that we've kind of paused.
Don't give me that. You sent us a picture of you with your feet up in the garden at 3 o'clock.
My boss might be seeing this.
Oh shit. You know, it's not to kind of make light of the lockdown, but you know, I'm still working. But I've driven through the centre of London at like 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. You know, it's almost like sightseeing. There's nothing on the road. There's no one about. It's kind of quite a surreal situation. But you know, we're gonna get there, aren't we? We're gonna come out the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll change for good. I think it'll change a lot of things for good, for the better as well. I think ultimately, it's just at the moment we're right in the middle of that big dark tunnel. We will get to the end of that tunnel, and we will get through it together. And it's just getting to that light, isn't it?
I agree, mate. I think it's made everyone look at, you know, they organise their life, their business, and everything in a different light, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel massively sorry for the businesses that are going to lose out. There's obviously losers on this, and I'm not sure how they deal with it best. You know, clothes shops or the people that we know personally that will lose out. And I don't know what the answer is for them yet, but it does give a great time to reassess life, like you said. So take positives where you can, and obviously, you know, that's the message as far as when you have that time on your hands. But yeah,
I agree, mate. So just to kind of wind it down a little bit. So just on to like football in general. Scotty, Rangers fan. So
Yes.
so
Painful just now.
kind of. I'm sure that you're in agreement that you'd like to see the season cancelled and avoided completely, both north of the border and south of the border in all leagues. All
I still think Celtic can chuck it away.
Yeah, right on. What about you, Matty? How do you feel?
Yeah, the season will finish and we will be crowned champions, so there's no doubt about that.
How many years has it been?
It will have been 30 after we've won it.
All right, okay. So another 30 then?
No, it's a roll now, isn't it? It's like obviously, as you'll be aware, once you've captured something, it's retaining it that's the challenge, not necessarily regaining it.
Is it true? Is it going to be the championship with the asterisk?
No, that's the danger. No, funny to say that. I had some banter this morning with one of our friends, and he said it'll be the Premiership trophy you lift, just with a couple of asterisks at the bottom, with a footnote that equals, you know, not a real league title. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Little certificate.
He just happened to be a Man United fan.
Quality. Gents, fantastic. Thanks ever so much. Get some other people on. Unfortunately, we might have to speak to the other idiots involved, like Deputy Skipper Rooney, Macca. Jesus, it might go off scale. So, but thanks ever so much for doing it today.
Pleasure.
I just want to point out, we've touched on it before, but you know, we're kind of looking for people to join all the time, whether that's playing or kind of supporting. So the further reach we have, so whether you're serving, non-serving, proper veterans, then we're more than welcome to have you in touch with us. So in the kind of link below, the details below, we'll put in some info down there to get in touch with us. So if you want to be part of it, if you want to come and watch some games, just touch base, meet up with other friends. That's kind of like a massive great part of it as well. Please get in touch. But stay safe. Hopefully see you all soon.
Be good.
Very much.
Be good. Thanks, Robo.